How's it going, everybody? I'm here below the rumbling LRT, light rail transit tracks running across Antonio Villegas Street, parallel to Taft Avenue. The brightly lit area you see behind me is the renovated Bonifacio Shrine Park. The trees are decked out with Christmas lights. I'm here to check out that park, but I took a few photos first before crossing the street. The Bonifacio Shrine is actually less of an actual shrine and more of a park built around a sculpture memorializing the eponymous revolutionary leader against Spanish colonial rule, Andres Bonifacio. It got a facelift in recent years, gaining a water fountain that syncs to music and a fancy-looking coffee shop. It's particularly bright now since it's Christmas season. The tall building you see at the far end is the iconic clock tower of Manila City Hall. I suppose it's a sign of the times that vendors are now also selling face shields and face masks, aside from the usual trinkets. The government here has started requiring face shields aside from face masks. Okay, I'm crossing the street now. Made it to the other side where the park is. LED headbands and toys seem in vogue this December 2020. It's around 6 p.m. at this point. Some vendors are packing up to go home. More LED headbands and toys. The entrance is on Natividad Lopez Street across the SM Manila Mall. There's a huge Simbang Gabi tarpaulin hanging above the entrance. Can't miss it. For those of you who don't know, Simbang Gabi refers to masses held at the crack of dawn for 9 consecutive days leading up to Christmas. Simba means mass and Gabi is the word for night. One of the holiday centerpieces is a tall Christmas tree. Many people are queuing up there for a photo op. The first thing that I checked out was the sculpture around which this park was built. It has 2 faces. The part facing the inside of the park depicts the Kartilya ng Katipunan. The Katipunan is the third K of the revolutionary organization abbreviated as the KKK. The Kartilya is a list of the founding principles of the Katipunan KKK. That's why you basically see a list of words on stone. There were many such organizations and secret societies plotting the overthrow of the Spanish colonialist powers in the late 1890s. This was one of the more successful ones. The plastic monoblock chairs laid out there is probably for the dawn mass happening some hours later. No Christmas event is complete without food, and this park is no exception. My order took long to prepare though, so I actually went back there thrice to check on it while shooting some other footage in between. I'll leave that for last while we check out some other attractions. To help you get your bearings, the jagged edge Kartilya structure is behind me, and in the middle of the park is a monument to Emilio Jacinto, another Filipino revolutionary who fought to overthrow Spanish rule in the 1890s. There were many people hanging out, and there were even a couple of chess players. They gathered quite an audience, including me filming, although I'm not sure we really knew what chess moves were going on. Behind the Kartilya is the KKK sculpture, which is undergoing renovation now. You can see the scaffolding on it. As I mentioned earlier, the KKK stands for the Katipunan, one of the more successful revolutionary groups that fought to overthrow Spanish colonial rule. The flag on the right side is the Philippine flag, and the man on the left side is Andres Bonifacio, after whom this shrine is named. The other K flags behind the red KKK one are older designs of the Katipunan flag before they settled in the final design. In front of the Bonifacio Shrine sculpture is a water fountain with lights that syncs to music. A lot of people were hanging there and enjoying the jams. I headed back to the park and went to the Martial Law Memorial. You can use the new coffee shop as a landmark. It's beside it. There's a plaque describing what went on during martial law from the 1970s to 1986, and also a list of names of unfortunate people who suffered under the dictatorship. It ended in 1986 after people got fed up, marched for days, stormed the presidential palace, and the US had to airlift the former president to Hawaii. This dictatorship had the blessing of the United States, like many other tin pot dictatorships in the 1970s to 1980s in Latin America, ostensibly under the idea that right-wing stability is a much lesser evil than letting the US's vassals fall prey to communism. In other words, pledge fealty to the Soviet Union instead. Ah, and speaking of the devil, here's a relic from the fall of the Soviet Union in the early 1990s, a fragment of the Berlin Wall. Behind these two monuments is the fancy new coffee shop opened by the current Manila mayor. There was a line though, so I didn't go in anymore to check it out. Finally, we get to the food portion of this video. People traditionally eat rice cakes called bibingka after the 9-day dawn masses leading up to Christmas. Vendors usually bake these fresh in the churchyard and sell to parishioners coming out of church. The word galapong on the tarp is defined as glutinous rice soaked in water and then ground with the water to form either a batter or a dough in the dictionary. This stall sells two kinds of pastries, puto bumbong and bibingka, both at 50 pesos each or a little under $1. This stall bakes the bibingka the traditional way, over live coals in a clay pot. He puts a clay pot over the coals, layers it with banana tree leaves, pours the batter in it, puts salted egg bits, puts some corrugated tin with more live coals on top of it to heat it until the batter solidifies. For those of you who don't know, salted egg is duck egg traditionally preserved in a brine concoction made of clay and salt. Since this guy and the other lady making puto bumbong are doing everything manually, the turnaround time is very long. It's worth the wait though. I actually shot all this food stall footage over 3 visits while checking on my order in between shooting the other monuments I showed earlier in the video. I think this type of manual craft is something that will be hard for artificially intelligent robots to replace. They use an assortment of stuff for the batter, including condensed non-dairy creamer. Higher-end places use condensed milk, but for the low price of 50 Philippine pesos or under $1, condensed non-dairy creamer is fine. The final product is topped with some processed cheese and coconut shavings. The lady is making puto bumbong, the other delicacy named in the tarpaulin sign. This is another traditional Christmas food sold in stalls outside church during dawn masses. The purple color comes from purple sticky rice that's sometimes mixed with glutinous rice. The stall mixes it with margarine, but higher-end places use butter. Again, can't complain with this price. After grinding up the ingredients, the lady puts the powder in bamboo tubes which are heated up and becomes one solid piece after. It's topped with muscovado sugar, fresh grated coconut, and sometimes processed cheese. Then it's wrapped in banana tree leaves and is ready to eat. Thank you for watching. Which part did you like best? Please comment below. Please thumb up this video if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe to be updated when I upload again. See you next video.